esi wee na-ewere ọwala anyị abịago nekwa anyị akwa ịfọrọ ụgbọala anyị dị sarasara ụgbọala anyị dị samsam ọ ga-eme kishọ na ijeluru ebe ị na-eje n'udo ịnata n'udo maka na ụgbọala dị ndụ dị paramount ka ị wee nwee safety ka ị nwee security ifu gị onye ije motos na-ọfa gị security na-ọfa gị safety na-ọfa gị comfort and luxury nya ịchọrọ ije holidays ka ị na-eje ịzụ afịa ịchọrọ ka ụmụ gị na school maọbụ ebe ọbụla ị na-eje ị chọrọ ijejafe ụmụnne gị ma ị na-ana obodo ịmatara ihe ọbụla ị na-eme bịa ka isoro onye ije motos wee jee njem gị anyị ga-eme kishọn ijelu na udo anyị ga-eme kishọn na ebe ị na-eje na ijelulie na-arụ isi ike enwerokwa ihe ga-eme gị ifu gị anyị mekikwe shọn anyị tinyelu nwa security measures to make sure na ụgbọala anyị buluru gị ebe ị na-eje mekie shọn ịdị safe nke a bụ nke ndị Igbo nke a bụ nke ejirimara ndị Igbo ndị ọkwọ ụgbọala anyị that is our drivers ịnenanya fa na-ejike na njike ndị Igbo wite akwa ọcha ha na-eyi n'okpu mmemme njirimara ndị Igbo ịnekwa n'anya efu na ụgbọala anyị na-achakekwe na njirimara ndị Igbo ịnanya anyị ji nsibidi wee desịa ụmụ ife ọ bụrụ na ị na-aghọta asụsụ Igbo ị ga-aghọta na ife anyị minil bụ na nke a bụ nke anyị na-emela anyị ji wee na-akpọ ndị Igbo niile na-akpọkwa ụmụ Naijiria niile ka ị bịa sonyere onye ije ebe ọbụla ị na-eje n'ala Igbo bịa ka ị soro onye ije motos onye ije anyị bụ oje mba daalụ.
If you want safety, if you want comfort, if you want to go to wherever your destination is, it is Onije. Onije moto. Kedu onye butere fa? Onije. Bokopi, say bokopi. Bokopi.
Login n'ụtụtụ tata bụ Monday 4th July 2025. Afamo bụ Nneoma wee na-anabata gị na Voice of the East na nkata politics. Mụ na Mayor nwanne m awụchigo n'ụtụtụ a ka anyị malụ nke melụ n'izuụka gara aga. Mayor keke ime. Iru gị dị nwa samsam n'ụtụtụ a.
Ị efu na obi dị m ụtọ n'ụtụtụ a.
Ọ dị ka weekend a gara aga, ọ dị ka enwelu fon anwụle.
Edita m onwe m anya so weekend a gara.
Ịdị ka onye nwere anwụle nnọọ. Anyị na-anabata gị na-enwekwa olileanya na gị nwa na onwe gị nwekwara anwụle na weekend a. According to Gen Z, you cannot come and imagine yourself. So ife dị na ya bụ na agologologolo mmadụ enyelụkwa onwe ya aka ka anya bụ ife na-aga aga. Anyị na-anabata gị ọtụtụ ife melụ na obodo anyị na political scene n'izu ụka gara aga, mana enwere ife a na-akpọ hot topics. Ịghọtago hot topics n'ụtụtụ a wee bụrụ the comments Governor Soludo na-achị Anambra State melụ on the 2nd day of August. Mgbe ọ nọ na enwe ife a na-akpọ iji ịmago ịtụchalụ mmadụ aka, ịtụ ọnya dị aka, ije ya n'iru, jee ya nwa nso, tụọ ọnya dị aka n'iru, kwuo ife ịchọrọ ikwu. Governor Soludo, let me use his own words ka ngụpụtalụ gị ya n'oyibo ka ị wee nụ ife Governor Soludo kwuru na his statement. Chukwuma Charles Soludo made a very forceful remark about politicians who campaign on a pledge to serve only one term in office, speaking at an endorsement rally for his second term bid in August 2nd, 2025. Soludo argued that such promises amount to deceptive political gimmicks, which even question the mental fitness of those making them. And netizens and citizens of Nigeria and people who are concerned about the political actions in Nigeria have also insinuated that this statement is directed particularly at Peter Obi, which has caused Peter Obi to also respond. So we will take them one after the other. First of all, let me ask Mayor what he thinks of Soludo's statement.
First of all, I think what is his what's it called? What is Soludo's business with Peter Obi?
That's a question we've been trying to figure out.
What is
for a
like?
while
I
now.
don't really understand.
For a while
Yeah, Gayo, as Onyebu, you are campaigning to be governor, to be re-elected.
Yes.
When you go on those campaign grounds, what do you do as someone sensible? I question mental gymnastics here, according to what he says. Now, I think you should even be the one that we should be questioning your mental gymnastics, because how does the meeting, the campaign, this thing you went for, concern people who are promising to do one term?
Yeah.
Like, kebe di okusi puta.
Yeah, the correlation, the very
Unless
very
no na
strange.
try issue one of the other candidates who are coming out for Anambra State governorship.
Okay.
And I don't think to my knowledge, I don't think I've seen where any of them put us in or actually want them. The only person that we've seen that had made this promise was Peter Obi.
Yes. Because I don't know many politicians in
Me too.
Nigeria in a one-time
Like,
office. The
Peter Obi has made that statement before and has also made it recently during the talks of this coalition.
Okay.
Right. So, but like, the only way it makes sense, that statement will make it make sense, Bona. If he said it in response to maybe what any of his oppositions in Anambra State governorship, in the run for the governorship election, has said it. I don't know. I've not heard George Mohalu say something like that. If he has, maybe someone should point me to that.
Okay.
I've also not heard Sapo Chikuma of YPP and Nicholas Ukachukwu of APC say that. So if he's saying that, it's probably in response to Peter Obi, but how does it concern? You are there for yourself, right? You are there to tell Anambra people what you are going to do different in the next 4 years that you are looking to govern them again. Sell yourself again. You are the governor. Tell us what you've done. Tell us what you are going to do different. Don't come there and be throwing political shades. It doesn't make sense. And Governor Soludo is fond of this thing. Always talking like a market woman. And it's so annoying because Kefe Basagi na onye chisi no ya 4 term. 1 term. 1 tenure.
Yes.
Kefe Basagi na. Kefe Joku Defa.
And
Why have we reduced?
Why you didn't wute no onye akwu na
Abu
4
Anambra.
4 years or opekazi 4 years or
Like,
opeka mmadụ
Obasagi also not sure 4 years. Just happen here. No, run on your own race. Each she 8 years. Run your race and leave the other person to run his race.
mana me yo ka ikpa no nke bụ nkata maka na asị na ebe nwata na-ebe akwa atụ aka ma nne ya nọ dị a ene n'anya papa ya nọ dị a ife bụ the thing that makes me go a little weird is why is everybody interested in Peter Obi in that manner? Or the a Peter Obi syndrome. Onya bonya bia ku. The first thing no ya put ya no aboloku. Ipo mmadu si biko bia go to bia define ya la anya olu elu. Ose go Peter Obi. So the question on Cholejo now is, what is it about this guy that everybody wants to attach his name, especially the political class? They don't seem to make any statements without involving him. Capable the problem.
So everyone knows the kind of influence Peter Obi has.
So he does have this influence.
Yes, he does. They try to deny it, but they can't write him off. So like Atiku came second according to them in the last election. Why is nobody calling Atiku?
I know. You would think Peter Obi was the president of this country.
I'm telling you.
Like, the country experiences a tragedy. Somebody
Let me
comes to
even-
write us an epistle. How Peter Obi hasn't visited. How Peter Obi hasn't said
I'm telling
congratulations.
you,
How Peter Obi
like-
hasn't said sorry.
Everything he does is being talked about.
Yeah.
Now, APC had a digital media summit last week. Immediately after the summit, instead of them, coming out to tell us what they discussed, the next thing, Peter Obi. Peter Obi. You said this man came a distant third in the election.
I know. Why is he so
Why
important?
is he so important? Like, he gives them sleepless nights, obviously, because
No.
even the president is worried about him.
You remember he's been going around making these donations to schools and it's running into hundreds of millions, right? Something that the Nigerian people have not seen the people who are actually in government doing.
I'm telling you, okay, so imagine that he went to UNN, their dentistry department,
Oh, yes. We
and-
revived it.
and revived that
That's
department. University of Calabar wrote to him. So you would think that University of Calabar doesn't have a VC.
Huh.
Calabar is not in a state that is governed by a governor.
You were
They don't
saying-
have a House of Rep members.
Yes.
They don't have senators. They don't have House of Assembly members.
Oh my
They don't have big men, rich men from Calabar. It is a private citizen like Peter Obi that they are writing to. So you see, they try to deny or they try to claim that this man is not giving them sleepless nights. But I tell you the truth, these people go to bed thinking about Peter Obi. They go to bed dreaming about Peter Obi. They wake up thinking about Peter Obi. They eat thinking about Peter Obi. They go out thinking about. They drive their cars thinking about Peter Obi. They go to toilets thinking about Peter Obi.
Which
Everything.
makes you think about makes you think about is the Nigerian situation deliberate?
It is-
because let's talk about it. If the system is going to begin to come after people who actually want to better the lives of Nigerians, it makes you think: is the Nigerian situation, an unavoidable situation or a deliberate situation?
It is a deliberate situation because you can't tell me that you are an elected you're an elected official
That's right.
and you get in there, instead of doing what you're supposed to do, you're attacking someone else. Look at Governor Soludo. I know in the kind of insecurity that is, ravaging Anambra State, and you go to a campaign rally.
Yeah.
Instead of talking about how you're going to tackle the insecurity,
Oh.
you are tackling someone who said he's going to run for 1 term. Does that even make sense?
And presently, Anambra is crying. I saw a woman on Twitter, that's X. She was saying that her husband, because Governor Soludo had made a tweet and the woman was responding. So she quoted Governor Soludo and asked him to actually get to work as regards the insecurity in Anambra.
It was just last week. Sorry for cutting
Kidnaps
you. It was
left
just
and
last
right.
week that a young man
Mr.
who
Fish.
who trades fish who he graduated from Unizik not long ago. I was a student of Unizik. We were both students of Unizik during the same period.
Okay.
And he's popular in Oka.
They
right?
they know him all over the country.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that
Yeah,
popular.
he was that popular. So this is a young man who is in his prime, establishing doing business.
They
in
said
Anambra.
that business was going
It
really
was
good.
Yes.
They
So
said it was
firstly,
going
he was
good.
kidnapped, and then killed after collecting ransom. All these things happened under Governor Soludo's nose. He has not for once come out to address the situation. You can see how insensitive that man is. Things like this are happening in your state, and what is important to you is that someone is saying that he's going to run for one term. Like if Anambra people were serious, which I am part of, I'm from Anambra State. If we, as in Anambra, are serious, we are not going to re-elect Soludo. But it's just because he feels like he has no serious opposition.
Right.
That is why he goes around behaving anyhow. In a safe society, that man should have resigned because he has nothing to offer to Anambra people.
You would think Peter Obi was going to run for Anambra State governorship election at any other time in his lifetime. But, I mean, he's been governor. That story has come
He's
and
been
gone.
there, done that
He's
already.
been there, done that. But then, it seems if you discredit Peter Obi, somebody might dash you money. So, hook me up to that plug. Let's go on some marketing break. We'll be right back.
Ndewo na Enugu ụtụtụ ọma ebe ọbụla iso na-anọnyere anyị na Southeast na mpaghara Southeast nọ n'Enugu ịnọ n'Ebonyi ịnọ n'Aba ịnọ n'Ụmụahịa ịnọ n'Owerri ebe ọbụla ịnọ onye ije motos abatago n'Enugu ehenụ maka n'ọkwụ n'ana enwerọkwa oche Soludo ka efu na anyị abịago na Holy Ghost Bus Terminal 2 n'Enugu State na 042 Coal City ebe ife niile na-eme ebe onye ije motos na-esi wee na-ewere ọwala anyị abịago nekwa anyị akwa ịfụrụ ụgbọala anyị dị sarasara ụgbọala anyị dị samsam ọ ga-eme ekishọ na ijeluru ebe ị na-eje n'udo ịnata n'udo maka na ụgbọala dị ndụ dị paramount ka ị wee nwee safety ka ị nwee security ifugi ya onye ije motos na-ọfa gị security na-ọfa gị safety na-ọfa gị comfort and luxury nya ịchọrọ ije holidays ka ị na-eje ịzụ afịa ịchọrọ ka ụmụ gị na school maọbụ ebe ọbụla ị na-eje ịchọrọ ijejafe ụmụnne gị ma ị na-ana obodo ịmatara ihe ọbụla ị na-eme bịa ka ị soro onye ije motos wee jee njem gị anyị ga-eme kishọn ijelu na udo anyị ga-eme kishọn na ebe ị na-eje na ijelulie na-arụ isi ike enwerokwa ihe ga-eme gị ifugi anyị mekikwe shọ na anyị tinyelu nwa security measures to make sure na ụgbọala anyị buluru gị ebe ị na-eje mekie shọ na ịdị safe nke a bụ nke ndị Igbo nke a bụ nke ejirimara ndị Igbo ndị ọkwọ ụgbọala anyị that is our drivers inene anya fa na-ejike na njike ndị Igbo wite akwa ọcha ha na-eyi n'okpu mmemme njirimara ndị Igbo inekwa n'anya efu na ụgbọala anyị na-achakekwe na njirimara ndị Igbo ịnanya anyị ji nsibidi wee desia ụmụ ife ọ bụrụ na ị na-aghọta asụsụ Igbo ị ga-aghọta na ife anyị minil bụ na nke a bụ nke anyị ya mere anyị ji wee na-akpọ ndị Igbo niile na-akpọkwa ụmụ Naijiria niile ka ị bịa sonyere onye ije ebe ọ bụla ị na-eje n'ala Igbo bịa ka ị soro onye ije motos onye ije anyị bụ oje mba daalụ
If you want safety, if you want comfort.
Aluni sonyela anyị anyị ka nọkwa na nkata politics na Voice of the East elofukwa na mayor nwanne m na-ebe a mụ na ya na-akpakọrịta anya bụ nkata mụ nwa n'onwe m bụkwanụ Nneọma anyị na-ewetalo gị ife na-eme na Anambra steeti ife gọvanọ Soludo kwu nya ka anyị jọs kpachalịsịa kịta onwe ka isi filu ma na onwelu ihe ịchọrọ itinye ma na ịchọrọ iwepụ n'ihe anyị kwu ma nke ịchọkwa na iklarify ma nke ịchọ ka itinye ọnụ na ya gba mbọ ka itinyela anyị ebumnobi gị na comment section anyị agụpụta ya anyị etinyekwu ya anya wee make sure na ihe ahụ ịchọ ka anyị mee na anyị na-eme ya gbakwa mbọ ka ifolo anyị share kwa ife anyị na-eme with ụmụnne gị na ndị agbata obi gị o nwekwalụ obele ife nsị ka njọs tinyelụ gị ka ị malụ amalụ maka na o nwego ka obodo si wee dị ndị ọlụ oyibo na-aba mba mana ka anyị na-enene anya n'izu ụka gara aga retirees from civil service that is ndị lụbugolo ọlụ oyibo na Nigeria ọkachasị ndị uwe ojii nya ndị police retired police officers who have gone on individual protests and group protests to say na ife federal government na-enye ha as a retirement benefit oruro n'ife a na-eme mmadụ lụsi ọlụ for 35 years iwelu 2 million nye as gratuity nyabu ife make your sense which brings me to some of the expenditures federal government maọbụ obodo anyị bụ Nigeria na-eme a na-ajụ ma anyị na-channel our resources to the right place ka anyị na-eme extravagant expenditures. Our women who had won the African Cup of Nations, was that what was that? Women African Cup of Nations. They won that. And when they came back home victorious, I didn't because we stood for them and we hoped that they brought it back. I win a belum with sports trophies in Nigeria because our sports industry is suffering. And the treatment our sports athlete and sports people it's not correlated. So I'd be very happy with this success. Now, Kafanata, the president of Nigeria, that is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his wife, Oluremi Tinubu, welcomed them and gave $100,000 each to the players and $50,000 to the coaches and the management team, of course. And this has sparked a reaction in Nigeria. These kinds of reward, or the too much, or the natural, or the normal.
Sorry to cut you. Firstly, why are you giving them money in dollars?
Okay.
Why are you? That is like the first question. Why are you giving them money in dollars? Like, you are the president of the country.
That's right.
You are the one who is supposed to even promote your currency even more. And these people have gone and done well.
Yes.
Wonderful. Like,
yes.
We are happy for them.
Absolutely.
But let us do things like people that have sense.
Man, a president I in Chicago somebody. So my God like
assume no money feel. Assume no money feel. In a what manner ase kaine mi fe can do my fe. So as I see na yin mi fe, kai go see na o try see mi fe. Ose ka wulo nye Chicago. So ka wonye Kuala Lumpur. Ambasaram. Maninye hego na dollars is a no for me. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, I was part of people feel that that's $100,000 is too much.
Too much.
Because these are people who are still active in service. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
They are worth it, but I feel it's too much because there are other service, other people that have done well that same way. It would have been, felt a bit better. But look at the civil servants who have been crying. Look at the policemen retired policemen.
That's right.
Who were protesting, the other week. Like, if they have also been given such special treatments, it would have made sense because those are people who gave their lives, even risked their lives in service to the nation, and we are treating them that poorly. Footballers are superstars, obviously. Footballers are celebrities. They are, everything about them is flashy. Rewarding them is good. But then again, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. You don't treat these people this way and then treat the people who even matter. Because the policemen, to be honest, in Nigeria, we don't treat even though some of them are actual, I don't want to use a curse word here. Even though some of them
corrupt. We have a very high number of the security forces in Nigeria are corrupt.
Even though
engage in practices that are mind-blowing. Aid in some of the terrible things that are happening in this country. We do know that. But we also know that it is because this foundation is leaky.
Yes.
Have you seen the academies? Have you seen the barracks where some of these people are in? Have you seen the training environment for these institutions? Have you heard how much some of them earn? And then you give them weapons and you ask them to patrol the streets and guard the people.
Sure.
So I'm thinking $100,000 for one person.
It's so much.
Think about it. If we put $100,000 for each police station in Nigeria,
do you know what?
An entire station. I'm not talking an individual now. So it makes you think about the Nigerian economic mathematics. Or they call a bunch of cows and allow the mass.
How no the car? It is what it is.
A bunch of cows now low our economic math. But we do know na well educated people in this country. In fact, most of the people who are hired by government are professionals. Ije PhD anala ibienu, imago onye puta DSS, PhD, doctor, onye imago title kale. And when we act as a nation, ina ajumo po fundi agosile akwụkwọ niile na obu aije obodo ibe anya saloko. IJ UK anya saloko, IJ America anya saloko. Ay natazia na ba anya bo de ke elu nya bo maso na afia anya arụ. Imakwa ke $100,000 to some institutions in Nigeria. We will have a rapid change in 3 months.
You're even saying 3 months. In 1 month. You know $100,000.
I know.
It's more than 100 million naira.
I know.
So giving that to one person who probably also earns around that same, around that same
demographic, which is why in the first place.
So it's I am not against it,
Right.
but if you are doing it for these people,
Right.
also do it for the other people.
Because this makes, on the other side, the people who were asking to go to school are sitting down and watching. We know how much goes into education in this country at the moment. We know what happens to potassium from the school.
Let's even talk about the health sector. How much do we pay the doctors in this country?
Nurses non-strike.
Okay.
Idea.
There was a video, I don't know if you saw that video, of one hospital. The hospital, oh my God, I am a private citizen. I
Okay.
don't have money. But I don't have money. But you see me, I cannot go to that kind of place.
Oh, yes, I saw that hospital.
Can you imagine what
The
people
actor.
are going through?
The
Yes.
actor.
So, yeah, I was
A
telling...
Nigerian movie actor posted himself at the hospital.
Yeah, I was telling someone that... I think it's Bitcoin Chief I was talking to. So I was telling him that particular picture, that particular place where that man was,
Yes.
if you had 50% chance of survival, when you go to most Nigerian hospitals, the environment alone kills that 50%.
In Enugu here, Parkland has taken a very bad reputation as the poorest hospital quality in Enugu State. It's very bad. And I'm sure that every state in Nigeria has this representation.
And this is
dilapidated.
And it's a state-managed
facility. This goes for the schools in most of our communities. Everywhere in the country, like Odurono Fuebera for 1 year, we're seeing pictures coming out from Abuja where children are kept even in your wildest dreams, you don't want to be there. And this is where we bring them to study. So now we hound young people for not wanting to work. We complain that they're becoming very lazy, all kinds of things, especially in our immediate community, that's Nigeria. But this society is deliberately, for some reason, making sure that genuinity and hard work and real dedication to good work is not rewardable. So the guy who goes to school spends all this crazy amount of money. Families are selling lands to send their children to school. For a very long period of time, Obulu POS, or Jamobolo, Onyeje school, we start all over again after schooling in Nigeria. But then when our young people involve themselves in things like international charity work, when they involve themselves in activism, Fox activism, when they involve in certain weird behaviors in society, sports is good. Sports is empowering for young people. But then if I am seeing the rewards that people who have to actually work, because sporting is work, it's a job, it's people's job, right? So people get to do this as jobs. So if they are earning that much for doing sports, what are we telling the education system? What are we telling the corporate industry? It's saying, if you come, we will not pay you 70,000 naira minimum wage. And when you retire, we will only give you maybe a couple of millions for all your
But
trouble.
if you play football and win a trophy, you get
$100,000. That's how it is.
How
So just like you said, the examples of Ndino at the top, they're very crazy. if for a president I in a national honor reward in dollars. Or this year kind of malo the more from outside. It was used on Nataba. Speaking of expenditures in Nigeria, former President Buhari, borrowed 24 trillion naira in the 8 years of his administration, paying subsidies particularly. And we are just about 2 years into the recent administration. And President Bola Tinubu have borrowed 57 trillion in 2 years and is still borrowing, and he is not paying any subsidies on any parts of the expenditures of the country, not on electricity, not education, not medicine, not infrastructure. And we are, from the look of things, we're looking at another 5 to 6 years of this. And it bothers and it begs a very serious question. Where are we headed as a nation? Let's go on a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Ndewo na Enugu ụtụtụ ọma ebe ọbụla iso na-anọnyere anyị na southeast na mpaghara southeast nọ n'Enugu, ịnọ n'Ebonyi, ịnọ n'Aba, ịnọ n'Ụmụahịa, ịnọ n'Owerri, ebe ọbụla ịnọ onye ije motos abatago n'Enugu ehenụ maka n'ọkwụ na-ana enwere ọkwa oche Soludo ka efu na anyị abịago na Holy Ghost Bus Terminal 2 n'Enugu State na 042 Coal City ebe ife niile na-eme ebe onye ije motos na-esi wee na-ewere ọwala anyị abịago nekwa anyị akwa ịfụrụ ụgbọala anyị dị sarasara, ụgbọala anyị dị samsam. Ọ ga-eme ekishọ na ijeluru ebe ị na-eje n'udo ịnata n'udo maka na ụgbọala dị ndụ dị paramount ka ị wee nwee safety, ka ị nwee security. Ifu gị onye ije motos na-ọfa gị security, na-ọfa gị safety, na-ọfa gị comfort and luxury. Nya ịchọrọ ije holidays ka ị na-eje ịzụ afịa, ịchọrọ ka ụmụ gị na school maọbụ ebe ọbụla ị na-eje ịchọrọ ijejafe ụmụnne gị ma ị na-anọ obodo ịmatarọ ihe ọbụla ị na-eme bịa ka isoro onye ije motos wee jee njem gị. Anyị ga-eme ekishọ na ijelu na udo, anyị ga-eme ekishọ na ebe ị na-eje na ijelulie na-arụ isi ike enwerokwa ihe ga-eme gị. Ifu gị anyị mekikwe sure na anyị tinyelu nwa security measures to make sure na ụgbọala anyị buluru gị ebe ị na-eje, mekie sure na ịdị safe. Nke a bụ nke ndị Igbo, nke a bụ nke ejirimara ndị Igbo. Ndị ọkwọ ụgbọala anyị, that is our drivers. Inene anya fa na-ejike na njike ndị Igbo wite akwa ọcha ha na-eyi n'okpu mmemme njirimara ndị Igbo. Inekwa n'anya efu na ụgbọala anyị na-achakekwe na njirimara ndị Igbo. Ịnanya anyị ji nsibidi wee desia ụmụ ife. Ọ bụrụ na ị na-aghọta asụsụ Igbo ị ga-aghọta na ife anyị minil bụ na nke a bụ nke anyị. Ya mere anyị ji wee na-akpọ ndị Igbo niile, na-akpọkwa ụmụ Naijiria niile ka ị bịa sonyere onye ije ebe ọbụla ị na-eje n'ala Igbo bịa ka isoro onye ije motos. Onye ije anyị bụ ojemba. Daalụ.
If you want safety, if you want comfort, if you want to go to wherever your destination is, it is Onije. Onije moto. Kedu onye butere fa? Onije. Bokopi, si abokopi.
Bokopi.
No, anyị ka nọkwa na nkata politics. Anyị chọrọ ịgbara ọsọ ka anyị gbaba na Ebonyi steeti maka na enwere nwa kepukepu anyị nụrụ na Ebonyi n'izu ụka gara aga, Gọvanọ Francis Nwifuru. If anyị nụrụ on the news space, that is ka akụkọ si adị, verified on the news, because on ka anyị nụrụ mere okwu ji wee pụta Governor Francis Nwifuru will be correct here. But let me tell you what we first heard on the news. Then we started to react. Governor Francis Nwifuru suspended 25 commissioners and 62 SSAs without pay for 1 month for allegedly failing to turn up to his daughter's birthday party on Sunday last week. This particular headline drove a lot of Nigerians crazy because it will not be the weirdest thing we've heard, but it's, right up there. it won't be above our political elites to express power in certain ways. We remember not very long ago when Senator Oshomole had an encounter at the Murtala Muhammad Airport in Lagos, and he threw some sort of political power tantrum and got some parts of the airport shut down. We've seen this exaggeration of power, this power drunkenness. We remember the House of Reps member from Abia State who had harassed his cabman very thoroughly for not, appearing or doing things the way he had wanted. We've seen so many events of people of stature in this country not carrying themselves appropriately, not carrying themselves professionally or acting right. Now, this story also had us talking, and a lot of people wanted to know why the governor would do this. But Mayor seems to have a different opinion also, because the governor has tried to clarify. But let's hear what Mayor thinks about the clarification, and then we'll go into it.
Okay, first of all, I read both news,
Yes.
right? When the story came out that he suspended,
25
yeah, the 25 of
commissioners.
them because they did not attend his daughter's birthday party. And I thought that was a very silly, you know,
Do you think it's beyond
story.
okay, you don't think it can happen, or do you
And
think it's
I can't write anything past
okay?
Nigerian politicians
Okay.
because I know that it is something they can do.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, reading the clarification from his his press secretary, it was better, but still didn't make sense,
Okay.
right? Because
Okay, even the explanation to the situation
still
didn't
didn't
make
make sense.
sense.
A burial is, you can't say a burial is a state function because
Okay.
even if it is not. I don't know. I can't remember the person who died, but like people should have freedom, the right to choose whether they want to go for a burial or not. So now saying that you directed every commissioner to go for the burial or every servant of the state to go for the burial doesn't even make sense because that is not part of their duty. That is not part. What is a commissioner's duty in a state? Your duty as a commissioner is to oversee the ministry or the commission where you were posted to. So any other thing outside that is extracurricular. And extracurricular should be treated as extracurricular. So now saying that you directed them to go there, if you say, okay, you have he has a special assistant
Of course, he
on
necessarily is.
governance matters or even stuff like this. You understand? You can direct the person. You can direct your secretary, of state to the government. You can direct your chief of staff to attend in your place if you cannot attend. But mandating every commissioner, that is not their duty.
But we're saying this if these people actually functioned at the full effect of their offices. We've seen situations whereby maybe a governor or even the president or maybe high-ranking officials, they're going somewhere and you have all these commissioners lined up as welcome parties
It doesn't
and
make
stuff like
sense
that.
to
So
me.
it makes you wonder.
Imagine seeing even the president. There was a time whenever he travels abroad.
Mm-hmm.
So what he does is he lives here with the governors, probably in the same plane or in different planes. But them, they get there, whether they get there before him or after him.
Okay.
They will get there. The same people you are traveling from Nigeria, with, will go there and stand on the
And
and
welcome you.
welcome you. So if it's not a mental illness, tell me what it is, because I've not I've tried to really make sense of it, right? I think I saw it happens even here when they travel around the states here.
Yeah.
You would see him living probably even with Wike, who is in the same Abuja
That's
with
right.
him. You understand? will go and they travel
as welcome
and
party.
like,
So it makes you wonder, what are really the jobs of some of these people who serve in the
so
political class?
most of them, we like to, one thing I've noticed in Nigerian politics is that we like to major in the minor and minor in the major. So we don't like doing, like, you're minister of health, right? You leave your ministry of health, General Nwifuru. So the minister of health, imagine the state commissioner for health, right? He probably should be focusing on things that are, there's a whole lot of this thing, a lot of health issues probably
Too many.
to attend to in Ebonyi. A lot of hospitals that are probably not, that doesn't have facilities the way it's supposed to. I heard there was a time a young boy died because a granite was stuck in his throat.
Yes, me and
Yeah,
I think we
because
had
they
that
didn't
conversation here.
They didn't have. There was no. Is it binocular they called it or something?
There was
in
some
the whole of
equipment
Ebonyi.
they needed.
Yes, they didn't
And
have that equipment.
The whole of an entire state
Didn't
didn't
have
have
it.
it.
So the commissioner for health should be focusing on things like that, how to deliver proper health care to the state, than focusing on a burial. Look at education. You talk about the educational system. The commissioner for education should be focusing on that, not on going on a Sunday, right? Going for a burial. Did you appoint them? So now that they are suspended, what happens to their offices? Did you appoint them to attend burial or to actually do their work? So it really doesn't make sense to me. Sorry, but both the explanation and the earlier statements were even very foolish.
We're all trying to understand it. And as of this morning, Ebonyi State government has put out another statement because, I mean, like the Gen Z say, they have been dragging Ebonyi State governor like a tiger generator since this news broke. And according to the state government, Francis Nwifuru of Ebonyi State has suspended 3. So it's not 25 anymore. So it's 3 commissioners. And of course, this was because of the absenteeism from a state executive council meeting. Whether this is damage control.
Was this the 3 of them?
Yes.
Are the 25 suspended? Have they been reinstated?
That's what we don't know.
So now probably these are 3 fresh,
Suspensions.
suspensions.
But let's bring it back to what you said, right? So what are these people's jobs? What do they necessarily do for the state government?
So
If they can up and be suspended because maybe they took a decision that they thought was probably good for their commission or maybe for their offices or something.
to be honest, I don't even think whether it is. See, if we are practicing democracy, then we should practice democracy. We should practice democracy. So, it doesn't make sense in any way. So, absenteeism from state executive council meetings. Is there a reason for that? You have to see.
Are these people beyond writing queries? I am assuming that these institutions operate corporate level, where there are bosses and there are hierarchies of office and management. So if a commissioner doesn't show up, I'm assuming that there is a position for petitions or maybe queries as to why you haven't attended.
Yeah, there should be, right? There should be. So suspending, I don't know, for missing state executive council meetings, that can also be that can be a meaningful reason.
Of course.
Yes. But what I am against is suspending them for not attending the burial or state function. Because number one, that is not why they are there as commissioners. That is it, simple.
Simple, like Mayor said. This is where we will, cut the curtain short this morning because we've come to the end of the program. Dalurin Nisonya line from the beginning to the end. And if you just joined us, continue the conversation in the comment section and follow us on all our social media platforms. Afambo Norma. See you next week.
Ndewo na Enugu ụtụtụ ọma ebe ọbụla iso na-anọnyere anyị na Southeast na mpaghara Southeast nọ n'Enugu ịnọ n'Ebonyi ịnọ n'Aba ịnọ n'Ụmụahịa ịnọ n'Owerri ebe ọbụla ịnọ onye ije motos abatago n'Enugu ehelụ maka n'ọkwụ na ana enwere ọkwa oche Soludo ka efu